everyone. I'm Shreeya, a member of Guindy Times, the official campus magazine of ACT, CEG, and SAP. I'm excited in presenting to you the Hustler Summit series, in which we would be showcasing the journey of some of Chennai's top entrepreneurs. Today, I would like to take immense pleasure in welcoming our guest, Mr. Arjun Sooraj, the CEO of AKAS Medical Equipments, which focuses on developing and delivering drug delivery to technology. AKAS Medical Equipments currently is a manufacturer of several medical equipments with special emphasis on syringe infusion pumps and volumetric infusion pumps. The company holds around like a 15% market shares in the domestic market and also exports to various European and Arabian countries. So welcome, sir.
Good evening.
It's really great to have you here today, sir. So I'll get started with the interview.
Yeah, please.
So back then, startup culture wasn't very much glorified. But what inspired you to start the company and emerge as an entrepreneur?
Nice question, because those days, 25 years back, there was no startup culture. See, the word startup was not there, but of course, all companies there should be started one day or the other. Okay, so the word startup, that coined word was not there, but definitely companies were getting started. Only then they could grow. So the inspiration about starting a medical equipment was when I was very small, like when I was going to school or something, where I was studying at Tiruchirappalli. It's a small town down south, almost the center of Tamil Nadu. So where one of my relatives was very sick, and he was not able to get some kidney transplant done. So the doctors at that point of time were telling that the machines are all very expensive. It's all Japanese and German, and so it's very expensive. And we ultimately lost him, that particular relative, because we were not able to support. My father was raising some funds here and there. So all this, when I saw, I was just getting into college at that point of time. So I could understand that this medical equipment is very expensive, and when I'm doing an engineering or something, we should do something for this country. We should develop our own indigenous medical equipment, because definitely the technology is expensive when it comes from Japan and Germany and all European and American countries. So that's what inspired me basically long time back.
This is really great to hear that you actually have like a story behind to tell us today. So going on to the next question, what do you feel about your journey as an entrepreneur? Like, how does it feel to be an entrepreneur?
The feeling is very, it was challenging initially, but as we progress and as we were successful, the feeling was really happy, and the progress was giving us so much pleasure. So every day there was a progress. When we started, when the first doctor accepted our product, when the first order we took, and then when we started our marketing in Tamil Nadu initially, and then we moved on to the next state. So as other state people started accepting our products, then the north also we started marketing there. So they also started accepting. So by every month or every quarter, when we see the progress of the financial statements also, there is a lot of happiness, and it was a real pleasure, and it was enjoyable. So when we start growing more than the marks that we would get in a examination, when we see a quarterly financial result which is growing, the pleasure is immense.
Okay, so I think it was always like a growing and expanding a successful business. But what challenge did you face? Probably there would have been something which you might have felt like hurdles in the way. So how do you overcome all that?
When I finished my college, I started this organization maybe 6 months or 8 months down my completing my undergraduation. So I didn't have an exposure in the Western world or somewhere where we can say everything was very easy to do business. And then if I had come to India and started, it would have been very challenging. But because I started off right away here, even though it was all a challenging thing, I didn't feel it was challenging at that point of time. I thought that is what is the normal. That is how we will have to proceed. But later, 5 years, 10 years down the line, only we come to know that, oh, things were all so easy in probably in China or in the Western world, where they could get something sourced at the click of a finger and all that. And here we would find it very difficult to even source some components, and most of the components were all imported. So that itself is a challenge. Every time we will have to do shipping, even to take a sample, we will have to buy it from Japan or Europe and all that. So always that has been a very challenging this thing. And there are about 200, 300 components in the medical equipment that we made initially also. So roughly 200, 300 components we will have to source. About 150 to 200 components may be made in India, and another 100 components, like mostly electronics, would all be imported either from Taiwan, Japan, and Hong Kong and all these places. So it was very challenging to import this. That is one challenge. And the other challenge was getting the right manpower. See, if, when we were a small company, the embedded technology software engineers all would be hired by all MNCs and bigger companies at a very good pay, fat pay package. We were not able to afford such a pay package, and so it was always a challenge that people join us as a fresher, learn, work with us, learn something, and probably 1 year down the line they switch the jobs, and every time it has been a continuous difficulty for us over the last 15, 20 years. And now in the last 5 years, as we have grown and we are also able to match MNC packages or even exceed them, we are able to retain them only in the last few years.
I think nowadays students are actually interested in working in startups because we get the we get a kind of an exposure which is very different, that we get to work on field compared to working in MNC. Like, I think that's like being the culture nowadays also. But yeah, so what do you think is the key to succeed in a business, and what strategies would you adopt for this?
The question is very simple. The answer is not so simple. What is the key thing to succeed in a business? See, first, what I would put it in one word is a burning desire to succeed. So it is only a burning desire to succeed. I repeat the words: burning desire to succeed. It is not our knowledge. It is not our whatever be our skills to do business. It is all, you can acquire all those knowledge and skills, etc., over a period of time. But if only there is a burning desire. So what is the starting point is a burning desire. You should have the desire, a burning desire to succeed. Whatever we do, let it be a medical equipment, let it be anything, we should start with the burning desire. If that burning desire is there, then we can automatically get technology, get knowledge, get information. And in today's world, information is available at fingertips. So we can meet people, hire people, consult people. Something could be done. Definitely business is going to be successful if only that entrepreneur is going to have a burning desire within him or her.
So what would be your advice to students out there who have this burning desire to start a company?
Burning desire. Okay, how to have a burning desire? That is a it should be inherent one. And so probably if you start doing something which you are passionate about, you may have that burning desire. So the burning desire is not only to make some financial success. Probably whatever you are passionate about, you can think that you should achieve this particular goal. And one important thing is, things don't happen in a short time. Probably we can graduate engineering degree in about 4 years, or you can do a master's in a couple of years. But to get a business reach its height, or be successful, or become financially independent, may not happen in 4 years and 3 years. It may happen in 5 years or 10 years. So the race is always won by the person who is persevering. So the person who keeps running till the end is the one who wins the race, not somebody who is going to drop out or within a shorter period of time. So always success is at the end. 99% of the people stop their progress when they're very close to success, almost very close to success. So we should keep trying hard and try different ways, and definitely something would click at some point of time. We shouldn't lose heart and drop our progress.
So, what do you think are like the current fields you think students can which are actually like now in the trend, which you think might succeed if you make it a business plan?
Today, I'm more into the healthcare industry because I'm not much knowledge about other industries. Of course, our robotics and things are all getting spoken these days. Electric vehicles, all these are all getting. There's a lot of talk about all that. But when it comes to healthcare, I would say that healthcare would is a very fast growing field, at least in India. So mainly in India or in the developing nations, because our the what we spend on healthcare is hardly about 4% of our GDP, whereas the developed nations are spending about 11-12% of their GDP, and our GDP itself is very small, or our per capita income itself is very small, and we spend only 4-5% of our per capita income you can take, and you multiply that by our population and all that. So the market is growing at a very fast rate. So even if we catch up the developed nations, for example, in about 15 to 20 years time, probably every year we will have to grow about 20-25%, more than 20-25% to catch up the developed nation in 15-20 years time. So the market is growing to grow phenomenally. So just as we were thinking in the 90s and early 2000, it was all information technology, IT industry boom. I think this 2020 to 2040 should be healthcare industry boom in India. So whatever you touch in the healthcare industry will definitely result in something good. So that's what I see.
Yeah, I think with COVID, we really understand how much healthcare and sanitation has played like an important role in all of our lives. Like it has been like we have been locked down with a lot of health issues, and people are really understanding its importance. So, I just want to know. I'm just a bit curious to know if you have any favorite business tycoon. Of you have any favorite one?
Yeah, I have many. I have a few business tycoons photos stuck on my in my bedroom itself. I have stuck it just in front of my bed. So I every day morning when I wake up, I would see these business tycoons and wake up only. That is how I wake up. Normally, this was not for, at this age. Probably when I was about 25, 26 itself, I had these business tycoon photos stuck in
Can you name
either.
them and just tell me why?
Yeah, sure. I'll name them. One is Premji. Wipro's Azim Premji is one interesting person. Of course, Dhirubhai Ambani, then Bill Gates, Narayana Murthy, Warren Buffett. So all these people, Ratan Tata. So all these people photos, I have got it stuck in my room. So every day morning I wake up seeing them.
So just getting inspired day to day. So we're coming to the end. So I would just like to know your opinions on this Hustle Summit series by Guindy Times. So
I'm not much aware about this particular magazine that you're talking about, but anyway, from what your information that you have given to me and all that, should be inspiring to the students. If you keep interviewing more entrepreneurs, should be an inspiration for the students, and they can start planning their career from an younger age. So probably a first year, second year student, he can start shaping up his career accordingly. One thing I would like to tell the students also is probably a smart student who's in CEG, he may not be required to spend more than 20-25% of his time in academics. That's what I've seen, and that's what I spent also. So that 20-25% overall time is the maximum that he need to spend to achieve a good, reasonable marks and results and all that. So what is happening to the rest of the 75% of his time is mostly getting wasted. So what I would suggest is shape up your career. You plan what you want and start spending the 75% of the time also very effectively. It can be extra. It will be mostly outside out of your academics, but it will be something which will help you later. If you want to become an entrepreneur, start studying something related to entrepreneur. See what is human resource development. Read some basic books. Read some MBA books also. So in case you want to become an entrepreneur tomorrow, start reading MBA books when you're in the first year, second year. Also use that balance time very effectively. Don't waste it.
Okay. Thank you so much for your advice, and I think it means a lot to all of us here. So thank you for taking your time. It was really amazing speaking to you today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. See you. Bye.